Hi all, Armchair Artist here, thanks for watching. Today I'm going to do these 3 painted lady butterflies and probably the best painting that I've ever done. I'm quite pleased with it. I started off by using a photograph that I'd taken 20 odd years ago of some painted ladies when we had an invasion of them, and they were everywhere. I used the photo just to give me a quick outline of the butterflies, because I don't want to be spending a lot of time trying to get the shapes correct. And by the way, again, I've done this in a large format, in a rectangular format, and it doesn't come out well in iMovie, so this might be the last one I do in this sort of shape. So my apologies about parts of the butterfly missing at the top. You're probably missing a bit at the bottom as well, but you'll get the gist of how I've gone about painting the butterflies, especially these 2 at the top. I used 2 brushes. The first was a studio brush out of the inking set and a grunge brush out of the textured set. And basically there aren't that many colours. There's probably 4 or 5 shades of orange, a black and a white. And for the butterflies, that's about all I've used. If you're wondering why I've used a strange colour for the background, it's because it's pretty neutral, and I thought the butterflies will stick out reasonably well against it, and it'll save me staring at a white screen, because that's the one problem with I find with digital painting, is that it can give your eyes a bit of jip. I've painted the butterflies first because I wanted to see if I could do them, and before I wasted time on doing all the background. So I've done the butterflies first, and I was glad I did because they came out pretty well. This bottom butterfly was going to be a little bit more tricky than the other 2 because they weren't symmetrical. So on the top 2, if the pattern on the left wing didn't match the pattern on the right wing, it didn't matter because you couldn't see them both at the same time. However, on the bottom butterfly, they need to be pretty much the same. And I was thinking about this as I was painting the left wing. How was I going to make sure that they looked good enough to be a pair? Well, I thought, well, I know you can do some strange things in Procreate, so I thought I'd have a go at selecting the bottom wing and inverting it somehow and making a right wing. So I cut the image in half, so I got just a left wing, and then I did just that. I copied it, inverted it and flipped it over, and lo and behold, I finished up with a butterfly that had perfectly symmetrical wings with perfect symmetrical patterns. So another joy for the digital art. Another great thing about digital art is it gives you the ability to be able to move what you've just painted. And when I saw me painting, I thought this butterfly was a bit over on the left hand side, and the painting looks like it's flying out of the painting, so I thought I'll select it and move it to the right, and you can see that that's what I've done. I've actually moved it across in the painting, and it gives a much better composition. You can also see now that I've started painting the flowers, and on the face of it they look very difficult because there's lots of them, and if you used to be doing that traditionally, it'd be taking a hell of a long time, and as you can see, they're going in pretty quick. To do the flowers so quickly, I used 2 stamp brushes that I've made previously. They're in my set. They're at 2 angles. One is slightly towards you and the other one's a bit more towards you. And I twist and shape the canvas from left to right as I position each of the flowers. And in no time at all, I can build up a whole flower. And to be honest, this is one of my most favourite parts of painting because it's effective and it's simple and it's quick. And you can see how quick they go in. All you have to do is join them up with a few stems, and very quickly you're populating this painting with flowers, and because I've used a lower layer, it looks as if the butterflies are sitting on top of them. Well, it will do when I put some legs on them later. During this part of the painting that I'm actually doing now, it may look as if nothing is actually going on, but it's because I'm putting some detail into the centre of the flowers. If you look at the little bunch on the right in the middle, the small bunch, and the bunch that's under the left butterfly at the top, you can see that the centres of those flowers are completed when you compare them with the others. And basically it's just a couple of dots and a cross and a few spots, and it all of a sudden brings the flower to life. You can see the bottom left one has just been done now, and I'm just working my way across all the blooms until they've all got that little bit of life in them. You can see that without that centre done, they're a little bit sad and flat, but as soon as the centre part is done, the whole thing comes to life, and the flowers look pretty realistic. The next thing I do was put in the feet on the butterflies, the legs, and the proboscis. Next thing I did was to get rid of that horrible background colour. So I put a bit of green in, and then I thought a few grasses and things like that to make it look, and I wanted to make it look so it had some depth. So I did them all on separate layers, and then I was able to manipulate the opacity so that it looked like they were in the distance, and it brought the butterflies and everything else forward. There's a few more to go in, and I finish it off with a bit of texture in with a few other brushes, just to give it some textured background and make it look a little bit hazy. And that's it. That's the painting finished. Looks good to me. Although you can't see it all in one go, so I've done a smaller one, and that's about as good as it gets. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe. Be another one along soon. Thanks for watching.